This is macOS Ken.
A focus for WWDC, an anti-theft idea for iPhone, and so much Apple TV talk. It is Friday, the 29th of May, 2026. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from macOS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Copilot Money. Your money, beautifully organized. Get 2 months free with code macOSCan at copilot.money/macOScan. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOScan. We're getting our first big hint around this year's WWDC focus. I mean, we all assume it's going to focus on AI, but that still leaves the door pretty wide. Narrowing our focus a bit, secret sources said to know something about something tell the information that the focus will be on on-device AI capabilities. Mac Rumors highlights the report, saying the company is expected to showcase how the chips designed for iPhone, Apple Watch, and Mac give Apple an edge in processing AI queries directly on device. Sure, cloud-based processing will still be required for the heavy lifting. Messaging, though, will reportedly focus on local inference as a privacy-preserving, cost-saving alternative to the big data center model pursued by others. Assuming all of that is so, it's going to be interesting to see how much iOS 27 and its ilk want to do in the cloud versus on device. Also of interest, how many hardware generations back Apple's on-device AI will go? Word of a new iPhone anti-theft feature in the works. 9to5 Mac ran a piece earlier this week that had Apple working on tech to automatically lock an iPhone when it detects it has been snatched from the user's hand. Similar to Android's theft detection lock, the piece says Apple's implementation will rely on a few features to determine the snatching, among them accelerometer readings and distance from a paired Apple Watch. Once determined to have been snatched, the iPhone will lock. Unlocking it, or keeping it locked, will then lean on parameters that govern stolen device protection. Those include factors like whether the iPhone is connected to a familiar Wi-Fi network and whether it's at a familiar location like work or home. While code seen by 9to5 Mac makes it clear that the anti-snatching system is under active development, the site doesn't offer a guess as to when it might go live. Fun to be had for the public testing people. More pieces from 9to5 Mac say Apple hit Thursday with the first public beta of iOS 26.6, as well as the 26.6 versions of iPadOS, macOS, watchOS, and tvOS. Little newness expected. The only changes spotted by the site are warnings about block content limits we talked about earlier this week, and the anti-theft measure we talked about a moment ago. There were reports earlier this week as well about a safety feature in Apple Maps, though 9to5 Mac makes no mention of that in these pieces. If you're in the testing program, you know what to do. Folks interested in joining the testing program can do so and find more info at beta.apple.com. News to get my heart a-beatin' and my head to spinnin'. Mac Rumors says pictures of parts designed for an unreleased, all-black Apple Vision headset have been leaked online. The report says the pictures show what appear to be power strap and audio pod parts that look identical to Apple's existing Apple Vision Pro hardware, except with a dark finish that is not commercially available. The account that shared the images claims that the parts are for an upcoming second-generation Apple Vision Pro in black. Hey, you know what would be great? If it wasn't for a Vision Pro, but for a Vision Air or whatever Apple might call a lower-priced, mass-produced headset. Also, lose the eyes on the outside. They're creepy, and you'll save gobs of money. While such a thing might happen, it is not expected anytime soon. Mac Rumors points to reports that have Apple pausing future headset plans to focus on some sort of smart glasses. But you know, a guy can dream. More news in a moment, but first a word from today's sponsor, Copilot Money. Your money, beautifully organized. Money doesn't work the way it used to. Used to be you had to have physical money to buy physical things at physical places. Sounds cumbersome, but at least it was easy to track. These days, money we never see goes automatically into our accounts, then out again for everything from healthcare to digital subscriptions of all sorts. Keeping track of all of that can be tough, but not with Copilot Money. Copilot Money lets you track money coming in, money going out, where you stand on financial goals, and how your investments are performing, all in one beautiful interface, no matter what device you're using. Copilot Money has apps for iPhone, iPad, and the Mac, as well as a great web experience. All with a focus on privacy, and with help from real people when you need it. From managing the money you have to planning, tracking, and staying motivated on savings, Copilot Money is your guide to your financial life. Right now you can get 2 months free with code MacOSKen at copilot.money/MacOSKen. Named Editor's Choice in Apple's App Store and featured by Apple as a smart way to save money, you can try it for no money, free for 2 months with offer code MacOSKen at copilot.money/MacOSKen. Copilot Money, your money, beautifully organized. Try 2 months free with offer code MacOSKen at copilot.money/MacOSKen. On now to today's fun and frivolity portion, starting with news of a returning podcast produced by Apple. The Cupertino company issued a press release this week announcing a 3rd season of the Football, You Call It Soccer podcast, After the Whistle with Brendan Hunt and Rebecca Lowe. Returning this year, Brendan Hunt and Rebecca Lowe. The two are back on the scene covering the FIFA World Cup 2026. Produced by Apple News and presented by Verizon, the release says After the Whistle will be available in audio and video on Apple News, Apple Podcasts, and wherever users get their podcasts. There's a trailer up now. Regular episodes start on Sunday, the 7th of June. Wrapping the week with some Apple TV news. Actually, with a lot of Apple TV news. Mayday Malone is headed to the Cupertino streamer. The Hollywood Reporter says Ted Danson is joining an as-yet untitled comedy series headlined by Elizabeth Banks and Rob Delaney. According to the Reporter report, Banks plays a recently divorced woman who is looking to secure a lively second act for herself and her kids. Her plans get sidelined, though, when she finds herself dealing with her dad's amorous retirement community activities. That's where she forms an alliance with the son of her dad's girlfriend. Now, if you're confused on who's playing which character, Danson's playing the dad. One assumes Delaney's playing the girlfriend's son, though THR says details on his character have yet to be revealed. With not so much as a title yet, there is no telling when this show will hit the stream. Closer on the horizon, but still a ways away, Apple TV issued a press release this week offering a first look at the 6-episode Australian thriller Last Scene. Based on the book The Dispatcher, the release says police detective Ian Radley's life fell apart 11 years ago when his young daughter disappeared without a trace. Now working as a police dispatcher, The only thing that has kept him going is his implacable refusal to accept that she might be gone forever. When he receives a distress call from a teenage girl he is certain is his daughter, he will stop at nothing to find her and reunite his broken family, whatever the cost. Patrick Bramall of Colin from Accounts, The Devil Wears Prada 2, and Bluey stars. Plenty of time to forget about this one and be reminded later. The first 2 episodes hit Apple TV on Wednesday, the 9th of September. News of the return of a popular Apple TV drama in just a few weeks. The Cupertino streamer issued a press release Thursday announcing a Season 2 premiere date for the Colin Farrell detective drama Sugar and dropping a trailer for it. I missed Season 1 when it came around, but I read enough about Season 2 to know that I need to stop reading about Season 2 and go back and catch up on Season 1. Colin Farrell's back, and that's about all I can tell you, except to add that Season 1's available to stream now on Apple TV. Season 2 gets underway with 1 episode on Friday, the 19th of June, and that the Season 2 trailer is up now on YouTube. And finally, 2 new titles take flight on Apple TV today. One is a film about a magical journey, while the other tells a history that never was. The John Travolta written, produced, directed, and narrated Propeller One-Way Night Coach starts its journey on the Cupertino streamer. 9 to 5 Mac ran a description a few weeks back. Set in the golden age of aviation, the description says a young airplane enthusiast and his mother set off on a one-way cross-country odyssey to Hollywood, which transforms a simple flight into the trip of a lifetime. Between airline meals, charming flight attendants, unexpected stopovers, larger-than-life passengers, and a thrilling glimpse at first class, the journey unfolds in moments both magical and unexpected, charting the course for the boy's future. Critics, not really into it. It's got a not fresh score of 56 on Rotten Tomatoes. Maybe you'll see something they didn't. Won't take you long to find out. Less a movie than a special, it seems. Propeller One-Way Night Coach has a runtime of 1 hour and 1 minute. It's boarding now on Apple TV. As for the history that never was, Star City blasts off today. Set in the same universe as For All Mankind, this one also tells the alt history of a world where the Soviet Union won the space race, beating the US to the moon. This one is told from the Soviet side, though, offering a paranoid thriller chronicling the lives of the cosmonauts, the engineers, and the intelligence officers embedded among them in the Soviet space program. This one, critics love. It's currently got a fresher-than-fresh score of 100 on Rotten Tomatoes. The first 2 episodes of Star City are streaming now on Apple TV. macOS Ken, brought to you by me, and sponsored by Copilot Money. Get 2 months free with code macOSKen at copilot.money/macOSKen. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can find me on Mastodon, macOSKen at mastodon.social. You can also send me an email, info@macosken.com. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Cha.